Boy, do you know where this place is? Feng Wanner's beautiful eyes flickered with a murderous anger as she pushed Su Shuiying behind her and immediately spoke to Xiao Yan. This place, isn't it the residence of our Xiao clan's protectors? Xiao Yan's gaze didn't shift, meeting hers directly, with no trace of fear in his eyes. He spoke calmly. Xiao Yan knew that if he didn't act now, he might never be able to explain this matter, not in one lifetime or in countless reincarnations. Moreover, whether it was what the Xiao clan's protectors were guarding or the intelligence they held, it was all urgently needed by Xiao Yan at this moment. Are you looking for death? Hearing Xiao Yan's contemptuous words, Feng Wanner's imposing aura surged, and a pressure of reincarnation directly descended. Thud. With a single sound, Xiao Yan's remaining Do Qi was nearly exhausted, and the overwhelming reincarnation pressure suppressed him, causing his steps to become heavy. He sank several meters, and a force as heavy as hundreds of thousands of kilograms pressed down on him. If it weren't for Xiao Yan's dragon god transformation, he would likely have been crushed to dust by such a force. Matriarch, please spare him. Xiao Yan is the greatest contributor to this calamity. If Xiao Yan hadn't stopped an early-stage 8-star Do Xian and eliminated a perfect 8-star Do Xian guard, we would have already been wiped out by the Soul Hall experts. Seeing the Matriarch's anger, Su Shuiying quickly begged, her voice carrying a hint of tenderness. Xun'er, have you forgotten the rules of our protectors? Hearing Su Shuiying's words, Feng Wanner's aura didn't diminish in the slightest. It even surged, pressing down on her delicate body as she shouted in rage. However, what surprised Feng Wanner was that Su Shuiying, usually so cold and aloof, was now pleading for an outsider. Their relationship seemed far more complicated than it appeared. Anyone who carries the bloodline of the Xiao clan must be killed without mercy. Su Shuiying gritted her teeth and spoke coldly, but the power within her body subtly shifted. But Matriarch, is the Xiao clan really as detestable as you say? Xiao Yan also carries the Xiao clan bloodline. Why does he feel so different from the Xiao clan people you've told us about? At this moment, Su Shuiying stubbornly stepped forward and pressed her questions. So, they deserve to die. Feng Wanner naturally wouldn't miss this opportunity. She clenched her hand, and a chilling ice power that could invade the soul erupted, surging toward Xiao Yan with terrifying force. Boom! The green and black flames clashed violently, forming an energy barrier meant to protect Xiao Yan. No need. Xiao Yan, seeing this, shook his head weakly and stretched out a hand. In an instant, he crushed Su Shuiying's fiery barrier. Clearly, this was something only he could handle. You! Su Shuiying cried out angrily. She knew how much the Matriarch hated the Xiao clan. By doing this, Xiao Yan was probably walking straight into his own grave. Thud, thud, thud. Feng Wanner's withered hand froze just a few meters from Xiao Yan. For a moment, the air around Xiao Yan seemed to solidify, and a chilling, killing intent enveloped him. Are you not afraid I'll kill you? Her hand, still crackling with overwhelming force, hovered in front of Xiao Yan. Feng Wanner's jade staff slammed down heavily, and her other hand hovered above him. If she struck, Xiao Yan would be reduced to nothing in an instant. I, Xiao Yan, descendant of the Xiao clan, come here today by the orders of my Xiao clan elders to resolve the feud between the two clans, Xiao Yan said, his scalp tingling. His voice trembled, clearly feeling the immense pressure. The mere weight of this power was enough to crush him to dust. Sweat dripped uncontrollably from his forehead. Even within his body, countless forces surged, and the very air seemed thick with the scent of death. Matriarch. Su Shuiying's beautiful eyes showed a decisive intent. Clearly, if it weren't for Xiao Yan, their protectors would be facing destruction. No matter what, she would protect him this time. Enough. After a while, the power in Feng Wanner's palm slowly dissipated. Then, in a fit of rage, she turned her back slightly. Leave, or I really will kill you. Feng Wanner seemed to be struggling to suppress her fury, murmuring, I won't leave. Though I don't know what exactly happened between the Xiao clan and the protectors, I believe that our Xiao clan ancestors were never heartless or ungrateful. I came here today with the determination to die, to resolve the feud between the two clans. If I live or die, please do as you see fit, Xun'er. If my death can cleanse the past animosity between the two clans, I, Xiao, would not hesitate to give my life. As Xiao spoke, his dragon clan blood boiled, and even an ancient scale flickered on his body. Meanwhile, a mysterious ancient map, deeply hidden within Xiaoyan's body, began to emanate a powerful energy that surpassed the heavens and earth. Slowly, it gathered and took the shape of a phantom. Do you really think an old man like me won't dare to kill you? Why don't you question the ancestors of your Xiao clan about what they've done? Instead, you come to our guardian's territory and act recklessly? Xun'er was provoked by Xiaoyan's words. Her body trembled with fury as she roared like a volcano on the verge of eruption, the threat of an explosive outburst hanging in the air. I'm not one to blur the lines between grievances and kindness. I've already given you a chance, but since you're courting death, don't blame me. Ice Soul Seal. As Xiao walked towards her step by step, a muttering sound echoed from the corner of her mouth. A strange icy force surrounded her, slowly forming a beautiful icy pattern in front of her chest. The icy pattern contained a terrifying pressure that seemed to transcend both heaven and earth. Crack! At that moment, Xiaoyan's internal power surged, and his eyelids grew heavy. A wave of drowsiness swept over him, yet he continued to walk towards Xun'er, enduring the powerful pressure. Xiao, hurry up and leave. Seeing this, Su Shuiying was thrown into a panic. Flames of two colors wrapped around her as she tried to buy Xiao a little time. She knew that this level of attack was beyond the reach of a mere 7-star Doxian, and even a reincarnation powerhouse would likely fall to it. Heh. I, as a descendant of the Xiao clan, am not someone you can easily mock. Just as the deathly crisis closed in, a soft flame surrounded Xiao. The flame was colorless and transparent, like sunlight, but its power was beyond the bounds of heaven and earth. That is, the clan leader of the Xiao clan? At this moment, Su Shuiying stood dumbfounded, staring at the illusory figure above Xiaoyan's head. She felt a sense of confusion. Even someone as powerful as Xun'er seemed weak in front of that figure, as if a newborn baby. What kind of strength is this? In the mountains where the guardians resided, there was a stone wall with many figures carved into it, among which the figure of the Xiao clan's clan leader stood the tallest. This was the one Xun'er hated the most. Xiao Yuntian. Seeing the phantom above Xiaoyan's head, Xun'er's pupils contracted sharply, and a terrifying rage erupted like a volcano. Much of Xun'er's hatred for the Xiao clan stemmed from this Xiao Yuntian. As for the specific reason, she had never revealed it to the guardians. Heh, little one, you really have guts. The elder in the phantom smiled slightly, surprised at how quickly Xiao had completed the task given to him. Senior, you've really burdened your descendants. Xiao forced a smile and responded. Clearly, he did not know that some of Xiao Yuntian's power remained within him, or else he wouldn't have caused such a stir. Cough, cough. The things that happened back then were indeed our fault. Sorry, little Feng. The phantom man smiled gently, then looked at Xun'er with sharp eyes. His voice was full of sincerity, as if he truly regretted his past actions. Xiao Yuntian, what right do you have to step into this place? What right do you have to apologize? Back then, we guardians worked tirelessly to maintain order in your Xiao clan and manage countless vassal tribes. But what did you do? Behind Xun'er, an enormous cold ice rune, over 10,000 feet in size, continued to swell, exuding an overwhelming aura that seemed as if it could tear the heavens apart. Her voice became increasingly menacing, and her chest rose and fell violently as she roared. She wished she could tear Xiao Yuntian's body into pieces. The things that happened back then, I'm not really sure either. After the great battle between the realms ended, we were all busy dispersing and clearing the remnants of the extraterritorial evil clans in our respective domains. By the time we turned around, the guardians had been nearly wiped out, and when we tried to find the culprit, we were attacked by a mysterious power. The phantom of Xiao Yuntian's voice carried a deep sense of guilt and hesitation, as if everything had been part of someone else's scheme. In the battle against the extraterritorial evil clan, the Xiao clan paid a heavy price. After the first great battle ended and the extraterritorial evil clan was suppressed and driven out, Xiao faced unprecedented attacks. Not only the vassal tribes, but even the guardians were wiped out. Not sure. We guardians gave our all to help your Xiao clan manage countless vassal forces, only to be killed by your own people. Am I wrong? At the beginning, whether it was us, the Xiao clan, or the guardians, I always felt something was off because the whole situation was too suspicious. I suspect, Xiao Yuntian spoke softly, trying to calm Feng Wanner's anger. You suspect? No need to suspect anymore. The one who led the army to attack and slaughter our guardians wasn't anyone else but you, Xiao Yuntian. Behind Feng Wanner, cold symbols tens of thousands of feet tall appeared, surpassing the powers of the world. Once they descended, it was likely that the dozens of mountains where the guardians resided would turn to dust in an instant. Impossible. There must be some misunderstanding in all of this. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yuntian's phantom body shook violently. A deep thought flashed in his pupils as he immediately denied it. As the clan leader of the Xiao clan, commanding countless powerful warriors and overseeing the order within the clan, he knew better than anyone that no one in the Xiao clan would commit such a treasonous act. Ha ha ha. Impossible? Among our guardians, several reincarnation experts were personally slain by you. We saw it with our own eyes. As they fell, they confirmed with their own mouths that the power and appearance of the one who killed them were exactly the same as yours. Now that it has come to this, what excuses do you have left? Feng Wanner roared, the cold symbols behind her already having gathered. She directly questioned him. Back then, the Xiao clan leader attacked them alone under the cover of night. At that time, their ancestor, Su, was just a little girl under 10 years old. Countless flames and blood spilled everywhere, with cries of anguish echoing through the air. Even now, among the remaining guardians, many of their ancestors perished in that massacre. Damn, your hatred is too deep now. This matter may have to be deliberated over for a long time. I won't let you leave this attack unpunished. Xiao Yuntian gently shook his head and then said. He understood that Feng Wanner's anger had overwhelmed her, and no matter what he said, she wouldn't listen. But he knew very well that this was something he could not have done. No need for that. This enmity is unresolvable. As long as I, Feng Wanner, am alive, I will ensure that the descendants of your Xiao clan are wiped out. Die. Feng Wanner's voice was piercingly sharp, and the cold ice symbols behind her began to stir. They were immediately launched toward Xiao Yuntian, aiming for Xiao Yan's head. In an instant, the winds and clouds changed, and countless cracks thousands of feet wide appeared, tearing apart the void itself. Waves of power shook the hearts of all present. What's going on? Xiao Yan, seeing the fierce battle in the sky, was instantly confused. The Xiao clan's guardians were like stewards, helping manage the countless vassal clans of the Xiao clan in the lower world. But why would the Xiao clan want to exterminate them? Was there some kind of misunderstanding here? Or was someone acting with malice? But could there truly be a force or artifact in this world capable of making even the reincarnation experts misinterpret or misunderstand the situation? Matriarch, you also saw the resurrection of Yin Yin using the undying evil art just now. The grudge from 10,000 years ago could very well be a misunderstanding. After a moment, Su Shuiying furrowed her brows and shouted loudly. Originally, she had an intense hatred for the Xiao clan, but after seeing Xiao Yan's actions and the appearance of Su Xiao, her reasoning had been somewhat restored. Fall. At that moment, Feng Wanner was beyond reasoning. The extreme cold ice symbols bloomed like a frozen flower, creating a dazzling display. In an instant, the entire void shattered completely. Countless cracks appeared one after another, and the already broken void collapsed further. The rest is up to you. At this moment, Xiao Yuntian slowly shook his head, and then suddenly expanded his body. He shielded Xiao Yan and the others, murmuring. The aftermath lasted for several minutes before it was finally over. Within the entire space, a powerful aura, like a giant dragon awakening, emerged from the broken void. The figures who had just come out of their seclusion included some younger individuals, But more notably, there were many older figures, including several 7-star and even 8-star Docian. At this moment, they hovered in mid-air, their gazes slowly shifting toward the mountaintop. When they saw Xiao Yan's weakened form, an overwhelming killing intent swept over them. Several recently awakened guardians gazed at Xiao Yan's fragile body, and a familiar aura began to permeate the air, causing their hearts to shudder. That aura, they knew it all too well. It was clearly the aura of the Xiao clan. Wake up all the guardians, and let's punish this Xiao clan member together. Xun'er slowly shook her head. Clearly, the recent attack had drained quite a bit of her strength, but her hatred for the Xiao clan had lessened. She just couldn't say it openly due to the guardians behind her. Matriarch, this matter might be more complicated than it seems. Please reconsider. Mose spoke up, offering to excuse Xiao Yan on his behalf. Matriarch, things may not be as we imagined. How about we go to the netherworld to investigate and get to the bottom of it? Su Shuiying suggested thoughtfully. As guardians, they were naturally aware of the relationship between the Xiao clan and the netherworld. Is the netherworld so easy to enter? My decision is made. Attack. Xun'er said, raising her hand again and lightly pointing at Xiao Yan. Instantly, a force of ice bound Xiao Yan. He felt a tremor throughout his body, as though even his soul was frozen in place. Senior Feng, I believe you are a reasonable person. Just now, Senior Xiao Yuntian mentioned that the group that killed the guardians, although led by someone who looked exactly like him, could have been using some divine item with such strange powers. The great 1,000 worlds are vast, and such objects may exist, Xiao Yan explained. About what happened just now, Xiao Yan began recounting the events to the dozens of powerful figures behind him, their expressions grim. Could we have been deceived? Is there something we're missing? Su Shuiying added, her words causing the powerful figures to exchange suspicious glances. Senior Feng, if your anger remains unresolved, I am willing to bear this wrath alone. Xiao Yan slowly spoke, his tone unexpectedly calm. Fortunately, these people were the Xiao clan's guardians. If they weren't, with Xiao Yan's personality, once he unleashed the sacred flame demon power, even someone as formidable as Xun'er would have been dragged down with her. Matriarch, what Xiao Yan says makes sense. After all, there are many powerful beings in the Hell Realm, each possessing illusions that ordinary people can't detect. If we continue with this relentless pursuit, others will surely laugh at us. Since Xiao Yan has said this, why don't we settle this with a single move? Let the enmity be exposed, and we can fully resolve it when the truth comes out later, Su Shuiying said, having an idea and defending Xiao Yan. What do you think? Xun'er's anger had somewhat subsided. Thinking it over, perhaps they were right. Death can be avoided, but punishment cannot. One move won't be enough. Let's make it 3. After all, we don't want to crawl beneath someone who is completely defenseless, several of the powerful figures behind them said in unison after some discussion. I, Xiao Yan, a descendant of the Xiao clan, am willing to accept 3 moves from you seniors to ease your anger. Xiao Yan quickly responded as the situation seemed to be turning in his favor. But inside, he couldn't help but curse Xiao Yuntian for dumping such a troublesome task onto him. Good. Okay. The kid has guts. Hearing Xiao Yan speak like this, and considering the great sacrifices he had made for them, the group of guardians responded. Yi won, the first move, it's your turn. Xun'er nodded lightly, addressing a slender middle-aged man behind her. N. The man nodded, then stepped forward. I am Yi Wan, the head of the Yi clan. I am a mid-8-star Docian. If Xiao Yan can withstand my strike, all enmities will be resolved. The man stepping forward wore a green robe, exuding a refined air, like a scholar. His ancestor had perished under Xiao Yuntian's hands, but given the current mysteries, he had let go of that grudge. Yi clan? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask, puzzled. Currently, there are almost only 10 guardians here. Most of the others are leaders of powerful clans once allied with the Xiao clan. Though they remain hidden, once they return to their sects, they still hold considerable influence. The Matriarch is helping you. Su Shuiying smiled and telepathically transmitted this information to Xiao Yan. Humph. Seemingly noticing Su Shuiying's gesture, The matriarch frowned and snorted coldly. Oops, Su Shuiying made a playful face at her, clearly enjoying herself. Senior, please proceed, Xiao said, having broken free from the ice binding and stretched his body a bit. You've just fought, and today might be. I think it's better to wait until tomorrow, Yuan said, frowning with a smile as he looked at Xiao. Thank you, Senior Yi, for your kindness, but there's no need to worry, Xiao smiled slowly. Good. Impressive, truly worthy of being a descendant of the Xiao clan. Heavenly crane sound. As Yuan spoke, a delicate jade flute appeared in his palm. He raised it to his lips and, with a combination of hand and mouth, a series of melodious, soothing sounds filled the entire mountaintop plaza. This Yi clan is actually a master of sound attributes. Xiao pressure increased as he felt an overwhelming force drain energy from his body, a dizzying sensation spreading throughout him. Heavenly crane sound, go. Moments later, countless green musical energy waves quickly formed into a giant green crane silhouette, towering over 1,000 feet. Its wings, covered in countless musical notes, swayed with unmatched power and swung towards Xiao for a deadly strike. Dragon God first transformation, second transformation, third transformation. Seeing this, Xiao immediately activated the Dragon God's power within him. His defense skyrocketed, and even the Bashia's scales rested quietly on his arm, forming an impenetrable defense. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder-like roars echoed as the attack struck Xiao body, leaving behind disturbing blood-red ripples. However, the crane's sound attack didn't hold for long before Xiao broke through. Truly a monstrous kid. I, Yi Clan, am also willing to assist you once more, Yuan said, watching Xiao who appeared unscathed, a grin on his face. Thank you, Clan Master Yi. Xiao nodded with a smile, but internally, he was still a bit unsettled by the effects of the crane sound. The Guardians hold a deep prejudice against the Xiao clan, and the two most stubborn factions are the hardest to deal with. They are the ones you'll face next, the Elephant Armor Sect and the Myriad Source Sect. Su Shuiying's voice echoed in Xiao mind once again. This guy seems to be going easy on me. Looks like the real trouble lies ahead, Xiao replied with a slight nod of thanks to Su Shuiying. However, even Xiao himself didn't know when this girl had become so nice to him. Didn't she once want to kill him, full of resentment as if abandoned by the Xiao clan like a forsaken wife? Now, she was acting so gentle and refined. It really confused Xiao. The first move was so simple, the next two must be the real key. Silence. For a moment, as Xiao effortlessly blocked the first strike, the experts present fell into dead silence. A mere mid-7-star Docian managed to block a full-strength strike from Yuan. A mid-8-star Docian? Yuan, don't go easy on him. A fat man with a sinister expression stepped forward and roared, causing the surrounding mountains to tremble. The power within him was enough to rip apart mountains and rivers, creating a chilling effect. Heh, Sect Master Xiangjia, you jest? Brother Xiao talent is extraordinary. He is not someone we scholars can compare to. If you don't believe me, you can try it for yourself, Yuan said with a smile, calmly stepping back. His lips curled into a slight smile, clearly having noticed the dragon scales on Xiao, realizing that even Sect Master Xiangjia's strength wouldn't surpass that of Xiao defensive power. While the two had no deep grudges, at the end of the day, Yuan wanted to bring Xiao back under the influence of the Yi clan, which was his true intention. Therefore, his earlier move had contained some intentional leniency. Unfortunately, Yuan had underestimated Xiao strength. Senior, please. Looking at the sturdy and imposing figure of the hefty man before him, Xiao said politely, though he could feel an unspoken pressure emanating from his thick muscles. The man's body must have weighed at least 300 pounds, and every movement of his arms and legs radiated immense strength, shaking the ground with every step. I am the sect master of the Elephant Armor Sect, Manjin, mid-8-star Docian. I have always been straightforward and detest the Xiao clan's cowardice and their hypocrisy in killing guardians. When I make my move, I will hold nothing back. If you know what's good for you, surrender early. I will not make things difficult for you. But as for this grudge, Don't even think about resolving it. Crawl out of this mountaintop while barking like a dog for me." His voice erupted like a fiery rainbow, igniting the surrounding space. A twisting, intense sensation filled the air, and it was clear that the barrier protecting the Guardians would soon crumble. "Hee, Sect Master Manjin, you joke? Though I am but a descendant of the Xiao clan, I have received the true teachings of my ancestors. Please feel free to make your move," Xiao Yan said with a smile, his tone brimming with arrogance that he could no longer suppress. "After all, courtesy first, then the battle. Otherwise, I will have to fight fire with fire." Ha ha ha. What a sharp-tongued brat. The power of the four symbols hooves. Seeing Xiao Yan in such a state, the body of Manjin expanded once again. In the blink of an eye, it swelled into a giant towering 1,000 feet tall, standing tall in the sky. Then, its foot lifted, and a massive footprint wrapped in four-colored light slowly descended, directly aiming to stomp on Xiao Yan. The void shattered instantly, and countless energies from the heavens and earth surged and boiled. A strong sense of unease swept over the hearts of all the powerhouses. Xiao Yan. Looking at this scene, Su Shuiying couldn't help but gently bite her silver teeth, feeling extremely worried. The sect master of the Elephant Armor sect had obtained a trace of the four symbols' power by chance. With that power, combined with his late-stage 8-star Do Xian strength, his attack was already strong enough to rival those who had touched the reincarnation realm. This is truly terrifying, but they have greatly underestimated me. Dragon God Transformation, Undying Nether Sparrow Soul Shadow, Immortal Golden Body, Demon Emperor's Heavenly Appearance. Xiao Yan saw this and felt countless forces surge from within him, like spring water gushing forth. The Dragon God Transformation's blessing caused a faint golden glow to appear on Xiao Yan's body. If Xiao Yan were to refine the Dragon God Transformation to its peak, his physical strength alone could reach the highest realm. Outside his body, the soul shadow of the Do Soul Undying Nether Sparrow King surrounded him like an energy shackle, completely protecting Xiao Yan's body from the most lethal attacks. Moreover, the indestructibility of the immortal golden body further adorned Xiao Yan, making him appear like a true golden giant, invincible across time. On the outermost layer, a sky-reaching figure full of demonic energy slowly stood tall, its gaze directly locking with the footprint infused with the four symbols' power. Boom! At that moment, seeing Xiao Yan's many defensive measures, Manjin sneered coldly. His massive body exerted strength, and the four symbols' footprint came crashing down. A tremendously powerful force fell from the sky, like a meteor descending to the earth, extraordinarily terrifying. Boom! With each blast, the body of the Demon Emperor's heavenly appearance was almost immediately buried beneath the four symbols' footprint, with the immortal golden body temporarily stopping the fatal attack. Underestimated. Seeing the Demon Emperor's heavenly appearance being so easily defeated, Xiao Yan's scalp tingled, and a shiver of fear ran through him. Clearly, this so-called four symbols power was a supreme force that could rival the power of the reincarnation realm. Bashia's Mark. Mirage Sea Heavenly Curtain. Not long after, Xiao Yan coldly snorted once more. The Bashia's mark on his arm rose like a bright star, and immediately, a massive water curtain thousands of feet long formed, once again creating a defensive barrier that tightly protected Xiao Yan. Crack! The immortal golden body shattered. Kid, are you going to surrender? Seeing this, Manjin sneered. Not enough. Xiao Yan roared coldly, the immense pressure causing him to grit his teeth, the sound of his bones rubbing against each other echoing sharply. Thud. The towering water curtain from the Bashia's mark shattered once again. Kid, surrender. Otherwise, you'll be destroyed completely. Looking at Xiao Yan, who was left with only the protection of the Do Soul, Manjin shook his head, a sense of indescribable satisfaction rising within him. No, I can't give up like this, just a little bit more. Hold on. Xiao Yan grinned ferociously, sweat dripping from his forehead. The clan markings on his forehead flashed with a rare glow. The power contained within was terrifying, But in the next moment, Xiao Yin retracted it. This is the Dragon King's scales and clan markings of the Dragon Clan. This guy? Meanwhile, the strong individuals behind him exchanged looks. They knew very well that Man Jin, enhanced by the four symbols' power, was probably no weaker than a true late-stage 8-star Do Xian. Xiao Yan's actions now were akin to courting death. Can't you see? Everything he's doing is to atone for us, hoping to extinguish the anger in our hearts. Dragon King's scales, clan markings, even the power of the 5 sacred flames, even a true reincarnation powerhouse, if he wants, could probably match him in a battle of mutual destruction. What are you all thinking? At this moment, Su Shuiying could no longer suppress her anger and tears. Her nose tingled, and tears flowed down like a dam breaking, before she immediately shot towards the center of the explosion where Xiao Yin was. Matriarch, have we all been wrong? Looking at the area covered by smoke and dust where Xiao Yin was, even in the last moment, Xiao Yin didn't attack, merely defending. Right or wrong aside, but this little guy, I really like him. It seemed like a long silence had passed, yet it also seemed that Xiao Yuntian's words had left a deep shadow in Feng Wan'er's heart. Her eyes became clear as she looked at the broken barrier, then at Xiao Yin, who seemed to be on the verge of life and death. She spoke softly. Gone was the extreme anger from before. Instead, there was a trace of tenderness. It seemed that Xiao Yan's every action had truly earned her respect. At this moment, although the feud between the Xiao clan and the Guardians hadn't been fully resolved, Xiao Yin, through his actions, had undeniably eased the tension between them. The feeling of clearing past grievances made these people feel somewhat guilty. However, for Xiao Yin, this price was somewhat too heavy. Though they didn't know Xiao Yin possessed the undying power, had they known, they would have realized that Xiao Yan's actions might have been nothing but self-inflicted suffering. Whoosh whoosh. The 4 symbols' footprints came crashing down. Countless forces around Xiao Yin instantly crumbled, and a terrifying power, capable of crushing Xiao Yin into dust, surged around him. Xiao clan's patriarch, you really have caused a lot of harm, someone said, as Xiao Yin was surrounded by clouds of smoke and dust. Despite the protection of the 5-colored holy flame, Xiao Yin still felt powerless. Crack! Before Xiao Yin could react, the enormous footprint came crashing down towards his vital points. Crack! In an instant, all of Xiao Yan's defenses became useless and were completely shattered. His body was heavily struck and sent flying. The ground shattered as the overwhelming force pressed him deep into the earth for hundreds of meters. Even his body suffered multiple broken ribs, with blood spilling from his mouth, eyes, and ears. A heart-wrenching pain filled Xiao Yan's body, and even his soul seemed to collapse under the weight of the injuries, clearly not lightly wounded. Whoosh whoosh. At the same time, the most mysterious, undying power within Xiao Yin surged out, directly targeting his life-threatening injuries. The power of immortality was enough to make Xiao Yin truly indestructible, and such wounds would heal at an incredibly fast rate. Go back. Xiao Yin endured the terrifying pain and snorted coldly. He had just gained their trust, and now, the undying power was healing his wounds. What was the point of that? Hadn't all the suffering he just endured been in vain? With a soft rustling sound, the undying power once again entered Xiao Yan's body, lying dormant, only protecting his core essence. Even if Xiao Yan's body and soul were to perish, as long as a trace of power remained, he could be reborn. Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin. Just as Xiao Yin finished his actions, Su Shuiying's sorrowful voice rang out, and she immediately descended from the 100-meter deep pit connected to the mountaintop, searching for Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin let out a faint sound. He tried to move his body, but found he couldn't. With such severe injuries, moving would likely cost him his life. You. Following the faint sound from Xiao Yin, Su Shuiying rushed to the spot. Her originally red eyes were once again struck with an overwhelming visual impact. At this moment, Xiao Yin lay flat at the bottom of the deep pit, his body seemingly welded to a large rock. Blood stains appeared all over his chest, his flesh was mangled, and it was clear that his ribs had broken. His ankles and arms were also covered in countless wounds. I, I'm fine. There's one more move, Xiao Yin weakly said, his eyes closing. Xiao Yin. Woo-woo. At this moment, Su Shuiying could no longer suppress her anger and sadness. Tears, crystal clear, began to fall from her red eyes. Sigh. After a pause, Feng Wanner, along with the others, descended to the spot. Seeing Su Shuiying, who was crying uncontrollably, and Xiao Yin, who looked like a bloodied corpse, she murmured, "Matriarch, leave it to me." At this moment, a middle-aged woman, looking rather haggard, spoke up. "Elder Qian, please save Xiao Yin. I beg you," Su Shuiying said earnestly. Elder Qian nodded slightly, and an energy shield appeared, protecting both of them. Although the others outside had no idea what was happening, none of them left. They stood silently, praying for Xiao Yin, while in the light sphere, Xiao Yan's aura slowly began to recover. "Xun'er, what's going on?" "Matriarch, Xiao Yin is a descendant of the Xiao clan, whom I encountered decades ago while retrieving the Emperor's blood." Su Shuiying's lips moved slowly as she recounted the events of that year, though she left out the comical scene involving the Yin-Yang heart of black and white. So this guy is a descendant of the Xiao clan from the lower realm. No wonder his will is so firm. Indeed, he's quite a good seed. Feng Wanner couldn't help but praise upon hearing this. However, Feng Wanner also noticed that Xiao Yin seemed to be incomplete. Although this was just a minor observation of Feng Wanner and didn't signify much, seeing her beloved disciple so infatuated with Xiao Yin, she couldn't help but worry. Feng Wanner feared that Xiao Yin might already have a family. If that were the case, her beloved disciple might. However, Feng Wanner was wrong to worry, for Su Shuiying had no ulterior motives towards Xiao Yin. In fact, later on, with Xiao Yan's help, Su Shuiying would come to control the demon realm's demon sword, becoming the strongest of the Guardian's lineage once again. The king of demon swords, the fragrant Snow Empress. Of course, that was all a story for another time. A month passed in the blink of an eye. During that time, aside from Su Shuiying, who never left Xiao Yan's side, other strong individuals had scattered to organize their homes. Unfortunately, after several battles, the entire barrier had shattered and could no longer be used for habitation. It seemed they would have to go elsewhere to find new shelter. "Matriarch, this place has been abandoned and can no longer be lived in. I think we should make plans now." Emoze spoke quietly from atop a cliff as cracks in the black void appeared. "Let the other leaders return to their sects to regroup. We will likely need their power soon," Feng Wanner said, as if she had already anticipated this, shaking her head. "But if we do that, we will only have 8 guardians?" Emoze said. 8 is enough. As long as the bloodline doesn't die out, we will have honored our ancestors," Feng Wanner murmured. Suddenly, the energy in the sky surged violently, and an impressive wave of energy emerged. "Is this Xiao Yan's aura?" "His aura? Has he broken through to the late stage of the 7-star Docian?" Emoze exclaimed in surprise. "Let's go." Feng Wanner nodded gently, and the two flew towards the mountain's peak plaza. "What are you doing?" On the mountaintop, Xiao Yin stood with 2 women, while one of the women held 2 diamond-shaped crystal blocks, emanating a stubborn energy from deep within. "Let go. These are the sacred flames we protected for you. Since you've safely awakened, I will return these 2 sacred flames to you," Su Shuiying said seriously, her expression grave. "Aunt, stop making a scene. You've earned your credit, but forcibly removing the 2 sacred flames will cause your power to regress and even damage your essence. In the future," Xiao Yin couldn't help but smile bitterly, quickly trying to comfort her. "Good grief. I've just come back from the brink of death, haven't had time to bask in my breakthrough to the late stage of 7-star Docian, and now Su Shuiying is giving me this?" What Xiao Yin never expected was that these 2 sacred flames were indeed the inheritance fire guarded by the Xiao clan. When they were restless, the Guardians had to consume them to prevent the extraterritorial evil clans and other forces from discovering their location. But now that they had been consumed, Xiao Yin would not allow them to be removed. The cost of separating the sacred flames was too great. Although losing the 2 sacred flames of the Xiao clan was a pity, Xiao Yin was grateful for the Guardians' forgiveness. This century-old promise hadn't been made in vain. Of course, the most important part was the mysterious stone at the center of the plaza. That was likely the Guardian's greatest secret. What's going on? Xun'er and the other high-ranking leaders arrived one after another, looking at the stalemate between the two. Matriarch, Xun'er wants to forcibly remove the two sacred flames from her body and return them to Xiao, said Xun'er, the pharmacist who had been treating Xiao, shaking her head slightly. Clearly, she didn't want to get involved. Xun'er, you're causing trouble. At this moment, Xun'er couldn't help but scold. They were originally theirs. I don't want them, Su Shuiying said with a slight frown, pouting. It was clear she didn't want to owe Xiao anything, which had led to this situation. Xiao was speechless. Fine. Since you insist, return them to him, Xun'er said after a brief silence, her voice chilling with an unmistakable meaning behind her words. All right. Although possessing these two sacred flames would allow one to truly step into the 8-star realm and even possibly touch the realm of reincarnation, Xiao certainly wouldn't do such a thing. But Su Shuiying spoke again, clearly feeling somewhat embarrassed. Senior Matriarch, as you can see, the void here has shattered, and it seems this place is no longer suitable for living. Xiao quickly changed the subject. Indeed, Xun'er said. What ideas do you have, kid? I've established a force called the Boundless Fire Domain, which now occupies 3 of the 4 continents on the Do-Di continent. If you don't mind, I would like to invite you to take charge of our rear, as the true executor of the Boundless Fire Domain, Xiao said with a smile. That way, when we have enough strength to enter the Netherworld realm, we can go together. All right, I'll go with your plan, Xun'er nodded lightly after a moment. After all, there were only 8 guardians behind her, so accompanying Xiao to the Boundless Fire Domain seemed like a superior choice. Senior Matriarch, since the matter is almost resolved, what about this thing? Xiao let out a heavy sigh, his gaze fixed on the black stone before him, sealed with an extremely strong array. It seemed to emanate an ancient, awe-inspiring aura, sparking both respect and curiosity. Little guy, quite ambitious, aren't you? A smile appeared on the face of the pharmacist Xun'er beside him, her voice carrying a rare magnetic quality that was particularly pleasant. Does this stone really have a secret? Xiao noticed the others around him laughing and immediately sensed something was off, then said, If we're relocating the base, we must take this stone with us. Indeed, Su Shuiying nodded with a smile. Su Shuiying's figure was alluring, her skin smooth as cream. But when her beautiful eyes looked at the mysterious stone, a dim light reflected from it, radiating an indescribable aura of mystery. You can give it a try. However, this item is something that countless powerful figures from your Xiao clan have fiercely protected. Even though we've guarded it for countless years, no one has ever been able to covet it. We don't know its exact purpose or mystery, Xun'er said, her jade scepter pointing toward the ceiling formation. Thank you, Senior, Xiao said with great delight and followed her closely. Step back. I am going to open the ceiling formation now. Xiao, you will enter alone. Remember, you only have the time of 1 incense stick. If you can't crack it within that time, you must exit. Otherwise, even I won't be able to protect you, Xun'er said, her pale hand raised as she silently paid her respects to the black stone. Activate. After a moment of stillness, Xun'er's jade scepter gleamed with a brilliant light. The gem-like orb at the top of the scepter slowly descended, then floated toward a spot of emptiness on the black stone. Boom! A low, ancient energy ripple exploded out from the stone, a force that was far beyond the reach of reincarnation. Enter! Xun'er's face turned pale, as opening the ceiling formation had drained nearly 90% of her strength. Whoosh! Xiao body transformed into a streak of light, immediately passing into the black stone, as though there was another hidden world within it. Outside, the 8 people waited in silence for Xiao, while inside, Xiao began the final step of his century-long agreement. Upon entering the black stone, he found himself atop a mountain range. The area was lush with vegetation, with vibrant green life blooming everywhere. The entire place seemed to exude a mysterious power, flowing like ethereal jade liquid, casting an eerie glow over the mountains. This aura, so mysterious. Xiao Yin stood outside the mountains, unable to stop himself from inhaling sharply. Stepping into the mountains, he didn't walk for long before arriving at the center of the range. In the center, there was a vast peach orchard, filled with immortal energy. The trees emanated an ancient fragrance, and at the heart of the orchard lay a 100-meter-wide water pool, its emerald waters creating a scene so surreal it looked like a celestial paradise. Hoo-hoo! As Xiao Yan's gaze fell upon the water pool in the center of the peach orchard, both his flame mantra and imperial flame ring stirred with agitation. The two items separated and floated before Xiao Yan, cautiously eyeing the green water, as though wary of something. Boom! Just as Xiao Yan felt confused, bubbles began to rise from the pool, followed by a terrifying energy sweeping out. A massive iron pillar, several hundred meters in diameter, rose from the pool. The pillar was etched with numerous exotic flowers and plants, resembling the entrance to a forbidden garden, teeming with green life and brimming with endless mystery. Whoosh! Not good. Xiao Yan felt a sudden chill run through his spine, and all the power within his body froze at this very moment. Whoosh! A sound echoed, and at the center of Xiao Yan's forehead, the clan mark flickered as his entire body was enveloped by a dark red energy. The Xiao clan's mark and the power of the Xiao clan's bloodline. The mysterious iron pillar, indestructible and carrying a sense of impending destruction, struck Xiao Yan directly. But when it made contact with the blood shield formed by the Xiao clan's bloodline energy around him, it quieted down. Such a complex and obscure power. Xiao Yan's gaze, though fleeting, drifted to the countless markings on the iron pillar. In an instant, he was mesmerized, feeling as if the pillar recorded something faintly reminiscent of the entrance to a fairy-like garden from a paradise. Such a power was something far beyond what he could covet at this moment. As the iron pillar grew silent, the greenish water in the pond began to churn violently. Soon, 9 golden dragons surged out. From their mouths, they carried objects far surpassing anything in the world, leaping into the air. Glug! Xiao Yan's gaze shifted back to the scene. He felt that all the power in his body, whether it was Do Qi, Do Core, spiritual energy, mental power, or even sacred flame and demonic power, all fell silent and crawled obediently. A profound sense of awe filled Xiao Yan's heart. What were the items carried by the 9 dragons as they emerged from the water?